here's an update on that story I've been following with the lady from Scottsdale. She is going to file a lawsuit. I'm going to let the news clip play. They've got some good information in there, but I linked some more information at the end. Take a look, guys. Let me know what you think. Be safe out there.
A pair of Valley lawyers announced they're agreeing to represent Yessi Garcia. And those attorneys say it's because they saw our reports earlier this month. We exposed how Garcia was falsely accused of a hit and run after a random person stomped on and smashed her windshield. Officers overlooked surveillance video of her innocence and repeatedly called her a liar. ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing broke the story and now has more on what will happen from here and the major issues now facing the city.
Hello. Thank you for coming out.
Outside the federal courthouse, attorneys Benjamin Taylor and Anthony Ramirez announced they are picking up Yessi Garcia's case.
Who's a victim of this sad incident with Scottsdale Police Department.
Garcia's defense attorney filed a federal lawsuit as a placeholder, but she was struggling to find a civil attorney to continue the case because of the strong protections against police, like qualified immunity.
There you go, guys. So that shows you the type of bureaucracy that you have to go through. So not only do you have to get a regular lawyer, but you also have to find a civil lawyer that's willing to take the case. Why? Because of qualified immunity. You know, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to worry about qualified immunity.
Because this is wrong. It's a violation of our civil rights. You can't just think, okay, I have a person, let's just arrest him and throw him in jail.
If you missed our investigation, here's a quick rundown. May 24th, 2020. A random guy jumped on a car in downtown Scottsdale, stomped the windshield, and ran. It was Yessi Garcia's car. When she and her then-boyfriend saw the damage, they flagged down some bicycle officers. What the couple didn't know, there was a hit and run 30 minutes earlier, about 0.3 miles away. So when cops saw the damage, case closed. They even reviewed surveillance video that showed her car didn't move for 2 hours and a man stomped the glass. But the officers claimed it was, quote, inconclusive. So Yessi was arrested, stripped, blood drawn, and her mugshot was splashed on the internet.
Is that she didn't do anything wrong. She was the victim of a crime and then ended up being victimized by the police officers that she had called to help her.
You have the right to the president attorney to be with you prior to question, to be with you during question if you so desire.
Some of the key issues the two lawyers are raising. Yes, of course, the false arrest. But also, officers denied Yessi the right to contact an attorney at the scene, even after they read her Miranda rights.
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are.
Okay, well, can I get a lawyer?
No.
No, you can't have a lawyer. What kind of BS is that? Especially after reading the Miranda rights. If you don't know your Miranda rights, I did a video on this earlier that explains it. Go back to that video. It's ridiculous. She should have had a lawyer. The things that are going on in this case shouldn't even be a case. It shouldn't even be going to trial. I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't hear them settle out.
To these lawyers, maybe the most disturbing part of the case, officers claim to see shards of glass on Yessi's shirt when there wasn't any. And they say this case is unique because misconduct like this rarely gets attention unless there's shootings or major excessive force cases.
And what we intend to do in this lawsuit is to pull back the curtain on what policing looks like when you have officers that should not be trusted with the badge. Because I'll tell you, these cases happen more often than you think. Because I'll tell you, these cases happen more often than you think. Because I'll tell you, these cases happen more often than you think.
It happens more than you think. I played this 3 times for a reason, because even more than 3 times it needs to be played. There's people every day going to jail on charges that they don't deserve. There's people going into the jail system on charges they didn't deserve. There's people going into the system just in the courts alone, having to pay court costs, having to take time out of their day, which takes time out of their job or their family life or whatever, to follow up on something that they may have possibly did not do. But how are you supposed to know? Because if you have police like this running it, you don't know. You only know what you are taught and told. And if you have family that teaches you that stereotype, if you have police teaching you a stereotype like the tattooed skinny guy with missing teeth, regardless who he looks like, what he looks like, he's up to no good. Or how about that African American male out there, or that Mexican American out there? They're always up to no good. But you know what? This is a great example right here. You know what this is? This is a challenge coin from Mesa when they beat the crap out of a guy for no reason, just because he wouldn't sit down. Just because he wouldn't sit down. He wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't doing anything.
Have a seat right there by the wall for me, Doc. Oh, man. Have a seat right there by the wall. Have a seat.
What do I need to sit in the corner for? Sound like a 2-year-old.
Makes us feel comfortable.
For what?
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Oh, yeah. You are small.
Have a seat. Guess what? I ain't going to ask you again. Have a seat. All the way down. All the way down.
Dude, no. Dude, they told you to sit your ass down.
Just sit down, bro. Just sit down. Sit down, bro. Sit down. Bro, just sit down, bro.
See what happens? See what happens?
Get in there. Get his arms back.
And they beat the crap out of him. And what did they do? They glorify it by making a coin like this and dishing it out to the police that did it. Tell me, how right is that? On top of this coin, around the same time, Phoenix made their own coin for shooting a free press protester in the nuts with a pepper ball. Hence the reason why Phoenix is in trouble now. So why isn't Mesa and Scottsdale and Glendale underneath just as much scrutiny, considering as how all the research I do and all the research I've done tells me that they're just as bad as Phoenix is? Think about it. This poor woman could have ended up a challenge coin. Any one of us can end up as a challenge coin. A little trinket in a cop's pocket for something they did that wasn't right. Celebrating the fact that they violated people's rights. And they get a trophy for it. Think about that. Now, I know it wasn't said, but I'm going to get back to the news story. The news story is that she's suing for $300,000, which is way less than what she should be going for. She should be at least suing for $1 million, because you know for a fact they're going to settle out and they're going to try and sweep this underneath the rug because, you know, the police chief of Scottsdale is going to do an internal investigation, and that's due on his desk by the 24th. I have a feeling that that internal investigation is going to turn up the same thing as always. They found them at fault. They got sent home with pay, and, you know, they're going to be back on the force to do it all over again. They're not going to lose their job. They're not going to lose their qualified immunity. They're not going to end up on the Brady list. They're going to be covered. But they will pay out. Money is not the point. Money is the punishment. You shouldn't violate somebody's rights. You shouldn't make them strip down. You shouldn't steal their clothes. You shouldn't kidnap them because of what you think happened just because you're a police officer. Again, guys, if you made it all the way through, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Watch your backs. Be safe out there. We'll catch you on the next one.